But you weren't, actually.
I actually had my OBS running the whole time.
Yeah,
But-
see?
So when I
But
joined
you-
at 12:30, it was just me and Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
Or 1 p.m. was the time.
It was me.
It was me.
Yeah, 1 p.m. Or 1 p.m. though, Steve, you weren't here. And that's the actual time.
But I wasn't the only one not here.
According to Alex, everyone was. Except for him.
Well,
Or if Alex claims he was here at 1 o'clock, I don't believe.
well, he's a lizard. He can only see in certain directions.
That somehow seems reasonable to me to say, and not insane at all.
You're a lizard. You're literally playing you yourself in D&D.
Hey, what the fuck did we do last time? We went through a tower, solved a bunch of easy puzzles, and found a robot covered in mold.
There was
And then
Cambrian. I have Cambrian.
Cambion.
Cameron
was-
Diaz.
Defender.
Yeah, you fought that thing. You fought a water elemental. And by fought, I mean avoided successfully, so you
We
didn't have to fight
fought a water weird.
Or that, yeah, water weird. Not that's what it was.
Water
Ugh.
elementals hurt so bad. Elementals hurt so bad.
Yeah, elementals in general are just bad news bears.
Yeah.
Hey, you know that thing that exists outside your plane of existence? Yeah, it's coming. Oh, okay, cool. How do I even conceptualize something outside of my plane of existence?
Right.
How do you see a color that you've never seen before?
You don't.
You don't.
How do you paint with all the colors of the wind? How do you
don't.
solve a problem like Maria? These are the quintessential questions of our time that it is upon us to solve.
I know the answer to this. You can't paint with all the colors of the wind, and you murder Maria. Very easy.
Should have thought of that. Should have thought of that earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Seems legit.
Murder solves all your problems.
Usually.
Murder, the cause and solution to all of life's problems. You know, some of the best love stories start with a murder.
Mom walks in on you masturbating. It's awkward between you two. Murder her. I'll get rid of that awkwardness.
That it will.
Unless, of course, it's you live in Southern California and she's your stepmom and she secretly has always wanted to see your dick.
It seems to happen a lot.
Listen,
I'm led to believe.
There's a quantum lock where you have to either kill her or she fucks you. It's one or the other, but you don't know which one it is until it happens.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right.
So back to D&D.
Yep. Yes. So, yeah, you guys went there looking for an alchemy lab or alchemy circle. Alchemically sanctified ground that you heard was somewhere in the wizard's tower. You went through hell and back, went through all his fucking puzzles and shit, got to the bottom, found a giant teleporter at the bottom that can be controlled with different maps that you can slot into it to go to different places. There was a map slotted in there then that took you to some place that it seemed like maybe you didn't really want to be.
Mm-hmm.
It was, as one person described it, bad news bears.
Mm-hmm.
So you turn around and left after discovering the molded over, delirious, robot. He died in front of you. You took his stuff. It was cool.
Mm-hmm. We had a good time.
Yeah,
It wasn't a good time at all.
Oh, I was about to ask.
I had a good time.
Didn't 75% of us have a good time and 25% of us have a bad time?
That's accurate.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then you went back up to the top where you realized that the alchemical circle was actually up there the whole time.
Yeah.
And yeah, all the it was underneath the piles of skeletons that tried to murder you.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you just discovered that. Does anyone, for 10 experience points, or some inspiration, remember why they needed the alchemical circle?
Yeah.
I was saying, he's the
needed
one that
this.
needed it.
I
So
thought I
you were
was
the one that needed it, didn't you?
No, I'm not the one that needed it.
I'm the
Yeah,
alchemist.
our alchemist needed it.
Oh, yeah, never mind. We have one of those.
Oh,
The
we still have those
reason-
cards. Someone has a card.
Oh.
Yeah, discard the card or something.
Oh,
Yeah,
me.
there.
That's me. I don't even know how I. There you go.
There, problem solved.
But I have the component piece that assist with this with the research papers, and then Eric can use the alchemical circle to figure out more about what we need to figure out what the weakness of this. Is it a god per se, or is it a?
Shykorth?
They are. If we want to get the Shykorth, it is. If we're getting
It's a thing that should
if we're
not
getting
be,
technical
right?
with it, they are demigods.
Demigods. Okay, so find this guy's weakness.
Mm-hmm.
We also have the hag problem.
Oh well, is it really a problem? Do we?
It's going to be a problem. This is going to be
Is
a
it-
classic. We help a worse bad guy to take down the real bad guy, and then while we're weak taking down the big bad guy, the weak bad guys get us.
Well, we could always just leave too. I mean, it's not like
We're weave
these hags
touched,
will leave
though.
there.
They know it. They know we're weave touched.
What does that mean?
Sounds so sexual.
Well,
I'm sorry, it just does.
Our
it-
They're a
characters
kind
don't
of
know
hair
what that
extension.
means. So
Mm-hmm.
like we saw the different colored strands of weaves we were. Even Roboticus Maximus was trying to study the weave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but what is that?
Well, it's us.
Oh, hang on.
again, our characters have no idea what the fuck Steve's talking about. So don't meta.
No, that's been mentioned to us before.
No, but
Um,
now that I've seen that on the list, and now that we've cleared this out, and we got teleported to a different plane, I am telling you guys about this weave thing, and
Mhm.
it's fucking like this is.
I just want to point out
directly involving
that
us.
Desiree heard me run across my apartment without. She is in the bathroom. She could not see what I was doing, and she said, "Here he goes with the fucking cup again."
She can sense it. That's beautiful.
I think it's weird that you don't just have the cup next to you whenever
I
you
always
do
forget
D&D.
to grab it, man. Always. Every time I reach for it, I'm like, "Oh shit, the cup's not there."
So Thomas, I can guess that being weave touched is the equivalent of being Taverin from
It's the
Time.
equivalent of being molested as a child.
That's a good. It's a
Inappropriate.
good assumption.
Mhm.
But I have
That's
no
not- your
evidence
video's
to
not-
dispute it.
Your recording's not getting monetized, Steve.
None of them have been. They've all been demonetized.
Mhm.
I don't even fight it.
Why would you?
I don't want.
For-
Listen, the fact that they let me put it up at all, amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was
Alright.
like, listen. the fact
Especially in
that- yeah.
YouTube 3.0, where like anything that's not Elsa humping Spider-Man isn't like the only thing allowed. I'll take us swearing in D&D.
Elsa
Yeah.
humping Spider-Man.
Man, that I spent like 45 minutes on Elsa Gate, and I was like, I don't know what to believe anymore.
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking
Faith,
about.
faith in humanity dropping.
That YouTube Kids is full of really weird, creepy videos that
I did
are
hear about that.
fairly
Yeah.
sinister. That's what it is. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's got that creepy Tim and Eric vibe, but without the funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the creepy part,
Yep.
Yeah,
and it's just.
You know,
but
oh,
targeted
hated
towards
that
4-year-old
show.
children, which makes it like
Yeah.
infinitely
Weird.
more disturbing. Yeah.
I used to hate that show, but I saw clips of it again recently, and I'm like, holy shit, that's so funny now. Why wasn't it funny then?
All right. Well, I just wanted to bring up.
Yes. So, you know what? Let me put the TV on because I'm like getting increasingly chilly.
Because the point of you
Close
know
the door.
we've gone on enough adventures together that I'm beginning to trust you guys, and I'm not going to keep knowledge that only benefits me to myself, because if there's 3 other people who are thinking about it, they can help us. They can, even though it's a single person problem right now, because I'm the only one who kind of knows about it. If it applies to all of us, we could all be thinking about it to attack it together.
I mean, that makes sense, and I definitely agree with that idea.
And this technically would be our first long rest since the Cataplepus, the Tower, and the Hags, because we just kind of
That's
went out
true.
and did all of that. So, like, this is an exhausting day. I would have been like, listen, fuckers, this is this thing, and I think it involves us.
Dude,
Yeah.
long rest? I don't remember long rest.
Your long you managed to take a long rest. You got attacked by the Catoblepus as you did so.
And then
So you got your
we
spells
try
back,
to
but
take
you
we
weren't
try to take
interrupted.
a long rest on the tower, but then the skeletons attacked us.
And you were busy trying to like sleep while not sinking into a bog. So it was tricky stuff. But so when you mention we've touched, a familiar voice chimes in from somewhere deep within Sveliolon's carapace.
Did someone say we've touched? I believe I might know something about that.
Quiet, you.
Wait, hold on. I want to listen harder.
He puts the lotion on the skin or else he gets the hose again.
I'll fetch him.
Go get him from your not chest compartment.
So, first of all,
He continues without waiting to hear if anyone actually wanted to listen to him or not.
Of course.
the first thing we should discuss is whether or not everyone here understands what the weave truly is.
Let's
Much
pretend
like-
I don't know and just go over it again for the
Yeah.
folks at home.
The weave surrounds us, binds us, holds
Oh,
the
God.
galaxy together.
Fucking motherfucker.
Haven't seen the movie yet. Don't spoil anything.
That's not that speech.
The weave is a material that is interwoven, thus the name, through time and space and holds the fabrics of reality together as well as all the realms together. It is time, but it is also space in a way. It's very complicated. You don't need to know about that part. All you need to know is it holds everything together.
The glue of the universe.
Yes. And problems arise when you start unraveling it. Which, it would appear, the Elder Gods are in the process of doing. That's how you ended up here. Now, what we've touched means, this is a good way to think about it. Have you ever seen a rug or a tapestry or a piece of cloth and pulled on a thread and the thread came right out?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you pulled that thread, it came out. But the
Mhm.
overall structure of the fabric was not changed. But if you pull on a particular thread in a particular place at a particular time, all of a sudden everything starts to change and unravel. That thread holds power over all the other threads. When you change it, it changes everything else.
Mm.
And so if you were to take many of those threads and do something like, oh, I don't know, throw them 500 years into the future, it would change everything.
Mm.
Fuck,
There's
Oroxian
power
says out
in
loud.
Mhm.
That's us.
That does seem to be familiar, yes. I feel like I have
Yes.
heard this story.
What's that sound?
I don't know if I heard that also.
Background music from somebody else's game.
Okay. Yeah, he looks sort of satisfied with himself at being able to present such a clean analogy of what we've touched means.
Mm.
It was good.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
now, for a more in-depth analysis, I'd like you all to turn to page 3428 of my treatise on the weave. I'll wait.
I'll do
We don't
such.
have that. Mhm. I don't think we have that.
I'll have to break his crystal open to
Wait,
get a
can
copy.
you tell us who made the boots of levitation?
Oh, let's see here. Well, there is a cobbler's name stamped on the bottom here. There. Well, these are very unusual design. Are these gnomish? Interesting.
Ah, shit.
It's
Fucking
let's see.
gnomes.
It's
My
got a
ears
bunch of-
perk up.
It's got a large number of L's in it, but I can't make the rest out. It's been trodden on quite a bit.
Oh, shit.
Let me look. Let me look.
I throw the boots at Lily.
You can't. They're on my feet.
I know. I throw the boots at Lily. I didn't
So
say.
robot
you just
follows.
threw.
Yeah, I didn't say I
Ridiculously-
took them off your feet. I said I threw them at Lily.
Make a strength roll.
Right? Roll for crushing damage.
For real.
Do you have advantage?
I will do whatever it takes.
They're
DM.
boots of levitation, so.
Yeah, you're probably levitating. I probably just push you through the air.
Can I ask a question? How,
I just float
No,
off
yeah,
the
what kind
it's
of
like it's like you're in the space station, and I just push you down one of those long hallways.
so what kind of boots are these?
They're boots of levitation.
Yes, but you are not a human being, or a humanoid, really. So how are you wearing boots?
I have feet.
He does have.
Mhm.
I imagine your feet are not sized appropriately.
But if it
For boots.
requires attunement, so the boots will change to the wearer's foot. You know, most
Yeah.
people are smart, right? So
Yeah, but in order to attune to have them on now, they need to fit somewhat, and I don't think that they could fit.
I'll just jam my feet into them until they fit.
they,
So you
do-
just
wait,
destroyed
DM,
them.
Wait, no. DM, do the boots look like the little saucers now instead of like?
I actually
humanoid
don't
boots?
have. I actually don't have foot cups. My previous robot wizard did, but I have it looks like a Y shape kind of thing.
Okay, like a.
So I'm just going to assume he folded the two front Y parts together and just kind of jammed them in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
like that, like what I just do there.
Do they look like Tabi feet now? Like, did they split?
Oh yeah, they
On
should
your-
look like
On
tiny
your
boots.
2 toes.
All right.
So, let's talk a little bit about those notes that you found.
Yeah.
And
we
by
found-
let's
we found
talk a
lot
little
of
bit-
Stuff.
Yeah, you got a lot of shit. And when I say let's talk a little bit, I mean fucking read up, assholes. Uh, anyone wants to read out loud, they may. I'm not gonna fucking do it.
I nominate
This
the
happens
robot.
stack.
I'm not gonna read all this
Why not? It's your people.
out loud.
The haphazard stack of papers, parchment, vellum, and oddly enough, small metal tablets scrawled with dense handwriting that is oddly precise in its dimensions. Each letter is drawn identically each time, as though it were stamped in place. It takes a great deal of sifting and the annoyance of consulting Thufus several times for various translations and insights, but eventually you're able to make some sense of the robot's research. It appears the
appeared-
robot
oh,
realm.
I was gonna say
No.
we could switch paragraphs.
Yeah,
to make it...
switch off paragraphs. That's a good
You,
idea.
you fucked up my flow, though.
I know,
man.
but I just
Fine.
You were
started
doing well
before I
so
could-
far. All right, we all acknowledge
You did a
the
good
No,
job.
no,
job you
go,
did.
go. It's fine. The
Alright.
moment's over.
He was spitting hot fire.
Yeah,
Super hot.
no.
It appears that the robot realm sent Roboticus Maximus, conqueror of worlds, alchemist supreme, he who can jump 3 whole feet in the air from a standing position, to this plane in order to explore the ramifications of the Elder Gods' encroachment upon the mortal realms. At first, his research was based upon gauging the ivory bog thing's strength and usefulness. Much research was completed on the Thoma parasitic mold, its unique magical quirks, and its culinary properties. It is at this point that the writings become more erratic, both from the mold slowly taking hold of the robot and from the worrying revelations Roboticus research was uncovering.
You
I'm
picked
sorry,
the
but
paragraph with all the big, hard
Sorry.
to read words.
But can you please
Gauging.
stop pronouncing robot incorrectly? It's robot. Thank you.
Robot.
Thank you, Eric.
I always assumed
Only
it
if it's
was
harassment now.
Roboto. Harassment.
Harassment.
My hair has been harassment.
It is offensive to robots.
Who cares about offending rowboats?
Alright, who's next?
Eric is.
I'm not reading
I'll
shit.
Why
God
not,
damn it.
man?
I don't wanna
It seems
read.
that the mold originates from none other than Shai Koth, the growing whore. Sketches of the thing's form are unclear. It appears Roboticus ventured deep into the center of the ivory bog and witnessed the thing. His sketches of the encounter are wild and disjointed, bordering on madness. It was at this point, it seems, that the tone of Roboticus's writing changed. It goes into great detail on the efforts to locate the home plane of the Elder Gods and sever it from reality, ultimately coming to his own realization that there is something linking them to the mortal realms, very likely the Harbinger. As the notes become more disjointed and rambling, they
Jeez.
detail Roboticus's attempts They detail Roboticus' attempts to find a way to destroy Shai Koth using a kind of homemade anathema. His final recipe calls for nutmeg, as well as 4 potent alchemical acids. The final entry is as follows. It is upon me, Roboticus Maximus, that the duty of saving the multiverse has fallen. It was always meant to be so. I've already,
Sorry.
I have already acquired the nutmeg, and the 4 acids are simple tasks. And the 4 acids are simple tasks that even a human could accomplish. The catalyst, however, that must be something not of this realm. Something from the plane of the elder gods. Something from the birthplace of the things that should not be. I must travel there and retrieve it myself. For the first time, I feel as if a task may be above me. I am dealing with things greater than even myself. I am afraid.
Well, that's concerning.
Ooh. This thing scares me. Meme.
Yeah.
Do I have spooky scary skeletons in the jukebox? I don't. Oh well.
During this time, then, Lily, have you found out anything new about the boots?
I don't know.
The boots appear to yes be gnomish in nature, very well tooled. When you examine the sole more closely, you realize that there is not only magic but also a good bit of alchemy and even some mechanical engineering going on in here. Yeah, very clever construction to hide it. If you pop the sole off and look in, you'll see there's some little clockwork gears and windings powering a bunch of little crystals in each sole that are glowing faintly. The markings on the sole that would have detailed the cobbler's name have, of course, worn away. All you can see is the shape of a bunch of L's, but it is much more clear on the inside of the cogs who actually made that part of it. And the name is Lilin, but the actual gnomish household name, which is like 45 more L's and I's.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna try to make that shit up because I don't have time for that today. But yes,
I did something similar in my game on Monday. I was like, I don't have time for this.
You're right.
I'm not gonna be like the lodally dodalies, or whatever it is that gnomes call themselves.
Racist.
Blatantly so.
You're jealous. I get advantage on my magical saves.
And your extra con.
Mm-hmm.
So, where are we going to find these acids?
It's a good question.
That is a good question. So you do notice that it looks like this alchemical circle was being used for something.
I mean, that makes sense.
And then
Damn.
time for me to go back to the same page you guys are on here. There we go. Yes, it was used to draw this picture of a cat.
Oh, it's like that scene in The Crow where he lights the gasoline on fire. Instead of making a crow, it made a kitty cat.
I fill in the blood sacrifice, the blood wells on the edge of the circle, and then I call to some profane, name unspoken god, and summon a cat.
Just a regular house
The
cat.
evilest of all creatures. The harbingers of our
The
doom.
harbingers of death.
As cuddly on the outside as they are evil on the inside.
But
Exactly.
so, remember how you found all those pots inside in jars?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I am
there's
so high right now.
You say I am so high right now.
Yeah, because we found some pot inside.
Oh, okay. I was like, Eric, I didn't know you smoked. No, but there are a bunch of those scattered around here, as well as just a couple more extra scrawled pages of notes There are 4 jars, one at the top, this one at the bottom, that one on the right, and one on the left. And each of them has a small piece of paper, sort of wedged under the pot. The pot's been placed on top of it to keep it from fluttering away.
Mhm.
A little tattered, but at least one of them is legible. Which means that with sufficient alchemical purpose, knowing one acid and what the catalyst is and what you're trying to make, you should probably be able to figure out what the other ones are by tracing back his research.
Fantastic.
The first acid is from the stomach acid of an adult dragon.
Woof.
Oh, okay.
Oh boy.
Can we just like order that from medieval Amazon?
Let me see. Dragon, stomach, acid.
Just wanted to type that as a note that someone or some way got stomach acid from inside of adult dragon outside of an adult dragon.
Well, for
Technically, if you could just get like the dragon to swallow you whole and then teleport out.
Listen, I've seen that episode of Critical Role, and I do not want a dimension door in or out of a dragon's innards.
It does seem dubious at best, yes.
Or have to come out the backside. I'm not about it.
All of those options are bad.
The
yeah,
robot probably
that's
could do it. He's probably able to withstand the
I
acid.
don't have wings. I can't fly out of the dragon's ass.
I mean, I guess that really is more dependent on how forcefully the dragon expels you than anything.
Listen, I do not want to face any dragon right now.
Just make the
That's
robot
fair.
do it. He has boots of levitation. He'll come out and then he can, if he's flying, he can just float.
maybe
Mhm.
there's some acid left laying around.
So looking into the pot, it looks like there probably was acid in here at one point. How he got it, you don't want to know.
Mhm.
But there are enough traces of it there that a decent detect magic ritual casted with a little extra oomph through the power of this alchemy circle, which is, by the way, what it lets you do. Cast alchemically useful spells, things like identify, detect magic, any spell that requires a ritual with a little extra something attached to them. For instance, a detect magic spell may very well be able to track something, such as an ingredient, such as more of whatever was in that jar.
Guys, I think the DM is giving us a hint.
I'm kind of getting that feeling too, yeah.
I just want to listen, there are hooks that DMs give that a lot of us don't pick up on. I think this is one, guys.
Yeah,
I just
I'm
want to
feeling
make
it.
it very clear that this is a hook.
I just don't want to hit the point where it's like, okay, you're right. Let's go back to Orangetown and ask someone there. And be like, slam my head against a wall for 45 minutes.
Well,
Right.
guys, I don't know what these symbols mean, so I want to go back to Orangetown.
Fuck my whole life.
Oh.
But yeah, so you can track that. The other pieces of paper are a little more tattered and worn. With enough time and care, you could probably divine what they were.
I cast mending on them with a little extra oomph.
All right. So you cast mending. The circle glows again. It seems whenever you cast magic inside of it, some extra stuff seems to happen. That storm has started to slowly subside, and it looks like it was generating a lot of power for the alchemical circle.
Mhm.
So it's not completely up to the level that for instance, the spell that summoned all those skeletons was, but it's enough to get to repair the pieces of paper.
Mhm.
The other acids are down.
Acetic, lactic, and halitosis.
That last one sounds made up by some sort of industry.
Next is gonna be like Manticore stomach acid.
Let's just name things that one-shot people. Huh, my Roll20 just crashed. Oh.